Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Sonia and I'm here to talk to you today about Six of Crows. The first half is going to be a non-spoiler book talk, and then the rest of it is going to be me ranting and raving about literally everything. As you can see, I have annotated quite a bit. Without further ado, let's get to the video. Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo it's sort of not a spin-off series, but it is set in the same world as the Grisha trilogy, which she's also written previously. I haven't read the Grisha trilogy, but a lot of people that have definitely say that Six of Crows is better, and I can tell you that it is definitely an exceptional book. So, for those of you that don't know anything about the Grisha world, it is basically like a completely new fantasy world that that the author has set up, and there are maps in the book, which makes me very, very happy. It's actually pretty cool. This book specifically is about 6 criminals from a rundown part of the city, the specific city in this book, and the 6 of them has been hired by an upper-class merchant guy to perform a heist, and Kaz gets 5 others to help him out with this heist. Kaz, Inej, Nina, Jesper, Matthias, and Wylan. And it is supposed to be an impossible task that he and his crew have to accomplish for quite a large sum of money. See, I have to reference like 2 different things because I have a very bad memory. So I gave this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars because it is genuinely a fantastic book. I know nothing about the Grisha trilogy, and I feel like I didn't need to read it except for what specifically went on in the past. But the past is the past. This is the present. I give this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars. The world building was exceptional. The characters were really captivating. Character development also amazing, and just the general plot line was really, really, really captivating. This book was definitely very action-packed. Now, in retrospect, I can definitely recall like a lot more events that happened, but they didn't register in the pace of the book, so it felt a lot slower. And I think that might also be attributed to the fact that there was a considerable amount of character development for one book. It didn't feel like it was too much. I think it might have been because there were 5-6 characters being talked about. Good, decent chunk of the book attributed to backstories and character development. And because of that, the characters in these books are already some of my favorite literary characters of all time. Yeah, definitely of all time. And I love it for that. Leigh Bardugo has definitely found that sweet spot between like character development in the first book and plot development in the first book. I think it was beautifully balanced. Also, just the diversity in the character backstories, there's a lot of representation, which I think is fantastic. Definitely think you should go read it. And just look at it. It's black and red, and just even the cover. I'm starting to realize that I am definitely more coherent about things in my head than I am when I say them out loud. So this is where editing helps out a lot. The only thing that I felt was lacking in context was the background of the Grishas, who are the characters in the book that have magical qualities. But I think that's what the Grisha trilogy is about. I haven't actually looked it up, which I should. I think that the rest of the series is going to do more of that with the other countries, the different languages. It was all very fascinating. Pulled a Tolkien and created an entirely different language. Leigh Bardugo, that would be awesome. Please do it. I think that's it for the non-spoiler part. If you haven't read the book, go read it. I think it is well worth the buy for this hardcover copy. Look at it, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, and I think it deserves to sit on everybody's shelf. Go buy it, go read it, and then come back to this video, skip to this part, and let's get to talking about the spoilery section. Okay, right off the bat, I'm going to tell you that I was very happy that Jesper and Inej had POC qualities, and I feel like Inej was described like me. Brown skin, black hair, slender and can sneak up on you. That's me. But, I mean, I don't remember what her eye color was. But that's insignificant, because now I identify with it. What fantastic character in a fantastic novel. Inez is definitely a badass. Poor Kaz, I kind of thought he was an asshole in the beginning, but then towards the end of the book, like, oh my god, this poor boy, he's been through so much. He needs to learn how to communicate. Kaz is a piece of work. Kaz and Matthias are... those boys need help. I love the fact that she separated them into sections. It definitely helped compartmentalizing parts of the book. I am like highly impressed by the rendition of these maps because they're so beautiful, and the little characters and extra quips and embellishments in these maps is just beautiful. It fascinates me how creative an author's mind can be to come up with a completely different map, a completely different like building. Like where do you go to do I'm sure authors travel enough and see enough things to like pull from different aspects of what they've seen in the world, but it's just so beautiful to think of what goes on in a writer's mind when they come up with these things. It's honestly like Kaz, that poor boy. Like in the beginning, right off the bat, I was like, ugh, what an asshole. But no, it felt horrible from him. Like as you learn about the fact that he lost his brother, he survived firepox. He was thrown onto a ship with dead bodies that died of firepox. He was on an island, stranded with other dead bodies that died of firepox. He swam back to the city with his brother's dead body as a life raft after surviving firepox. And then he built an identity from himself from scratch out of pure hate for this one man that conned them out of the life that they could have possibly had. Man, and then he definitely has PTSD. He definitely has claustrophobia. He also has issues with like physical contact. Childish aspect of him, but he's built this mysterious, powerful aura around himself just based on the glove. Over the course of the book, you start to realize that it's a very childish grudge that he's holding onto. Like, obviously, even in the real world, when you're a naive young child starting your life and you fall into these kinds of like idealized jobs, there's a giant potential of you getting conned, but he lost family to that, and he's holding on to this wrath that he has from a young age. He's childish. It's shocking how childish everything he does is. Strange how much he has matured due to his experiences, but at the core of it all, it's because of something that happened to him or could have happened to anyone. Not the family loss part, but the getting conned part. And it's like a weird juxtaposition of being this revered, feared, macho man character with this adult, older, like aged aura around him versus this hidden, juvenile grudge against someone. It's beautifully developed, and I know for a fact that already his character arc is just gonna grow exponentially. Moving on to his relationship with Inez, he's clearly already attached to her. He holds her hand. I need you, Inez. If he had just... that's where he needs to develop, like, the communication part. Inez and Kaz need to learn to communicate, like, because I don't think Inez would have put that kind of a demand on him, saying, like, I will take you no gloves or not at all. She seems like a character who's definitely more understanding. She would have understood the PTSD, the trauma that he's going through. Of course, she deserves the agency to say to someone that, no, like, I have my own life and I'm not waiting for you. I respect her so much for saying that, but then, again, if Kaz had told her straight up that he's got, like, physical contact issues and PTSD, claustrophobia, maybe their relationship would have, like, gone somewhere a little bit faster. I mean, of course, you need to leave some content for the rest of it. Black hair, brown skin, I'm just gonna say brown eyes, I don't remember, and that's me. That's literally me. Representation matters, y'all. It really does. Inez's character, even she has some sort of PTSD. She's been kidnapped. she's been sold into slavery. She's working in a brothel. So essentially been raped. I'm assuming that it definitely was non-consensual and it was a debt that she owed big time and has her own demons to fight with and build with. And that's just like grew like way up. She already knew that she wasn't going to be with the dregs any longer, but then she, at the end of the book, she figured out what she wanted to do and she has a dream, she has a goal, and she's doing it all on her own, and she's not taking any kind of shit from anyone, and that is like beautiful. That is genuinely beautiful. She's already like a fantastic, powerful female character. Okay, moving on to Nina. Now here we have a war veteran. Nina's war veteran in love with her combat enemy. That girl been through a lot. She's lived through a shipwreck, throttled a couple of times by Matthias, the man who she loves. She takes the Jurdaparam. You let yourself take the drug that you know is going to be addictive and possibly kill you if you refuse to take the drug. Control of her identity and control of her sexuality, and her friendship with Inez is just the most beautiful thing. Platonic cheek kisses, platonic hugging, platonic hand holding, and Inez like willfully holding on to Nina's face and saying thank you so much, and just for being surprised by that. So I'm guessing Inez isn't one to show appreciation and tenderness to other characters because she's one of the few girls that's in the dregs, and was a former prostitute, so she has to like cancel out the reputation that she has. She has to build up her own individual strong, like, I will fight you identity. But with Nina, she shows tenderness, she shows caring, and she knows that this is one friend, one female friend that she can confide in. And just that moment where Inez is healing and she thanks Nina, I genuinely teared up, because that is the kind of friendship that I need in a book between two girls. A genuine, tender relationship where they'll argue but then know that they can reconcile. That was one of my favorite moments in the book. And then later on the ship, when Inez leans her head on Nina's shoulder, they have some beautiful, tender moments, and it's wonderful to read. It is genuinely a pleasure. Thank you for that. Matthias, though, I didn't take to him very much. I guess the personality that came off, I didn't take to him very well. I definitely was more taken up by the female characters. I think I started to like him more, definitely, after he helped Nina bury her friend's body, because they seemed to find a common ground and he bonded with her. Matthias is his entire perception of the universe, of a group of people that are unlike him, has been drilled into his head by a superior, by someone who he considered a father figure, by a mentor. A mentor has brainwashed him to think a certain way about a certain group of people just because they have different assets. Sounds familiar? Just because of their different faith and the different way they live their lives. And then the Nina and Matthias relationship, when they both realize that Boyo Bayur's son, he's just a kid and he's like us. The theme that comes between Nina, Boyo Bayur's son, and then Matthias, the theme of like, depending on your upbringing, your raising, the people who raise you, the culture you're raised in, different people consider different things as demons, as the bad thing. It's, again, a very relevant theme in what's happening today. Very poignant to put that in the book. When that came up, when I started to pick up on that trend between the two of them, I definitely started to like Matthias more. Finally, Jesper. His vocabulary is very similar to mine. I call people nubs. I like the word diplos and various other insults that he uses. He was described to have dark skin, so I'm just gonna claim that yes, he is black. Definitely bisexual. Yay for representation again. His sense of humor is amazing. He definitely wasn't just the comic relief, which was thank God. He has his own character development, which is amazing character development. You learn halfway through the book, not halfway, towards the end of the book, that Jesper is a Grisha and he's been living his life as a normal person just because he didn't want to get found out. Okay, in the beginning, I definitely thought that Jesper had a thing for Inej. I picked up on the fact that he also has a thing for Kaz. There was that line where he said, "Can't believe he got the opportunity to saw Kaz naked," and all I thought to think of was getting locked up. I'm just excited to see how Jesper starts to come to terms with his Grisha side, because he didn't get to develop it. His father was afraid for him, and as Jesper mentioned, afraid of him. So Jesper didn't have the chance to develop his technique and his skill, but he's already seemingly pretty good at what he does. He finally has built a connection with other Grisha. He possibly wants to go back and visit his family, visit his homeland. He doesn't know what to interpret, and I'm really excited to see how his relationship, his newfound appreciation and emotional characteristic tether to other Grisha, how that builds or diminishes. I hope it builds, because that gives him more as a person in this book. And again, him trying to deal with his addiction, his gambling addiction, and how he's going to patch up his relationship with Kaz, because now Kaz doesn't trust him because Jesper blabbed to someone who reported to Pekka Rollins that they were leaving. And that was heartbreaking, but already Jesper was like kind of jealous that Inej was closer to Kaz, and now he has to work twice as hard to build up what he's lost. Kaz needs to learn to be a little bit more forgiving, or he's gonna drive everyone away from him. Finally, on to Wylan. Why does he not have a third-person limited point of view in this book? Why? Why are we lacking that? No, I need more Wylan because he was perfect. I really want to know about his family, his history with his dad. We got a little bit at the end. Wylan's apparently not able to read, which I started to think is a cause of dyslexia. But I hope that is explored more in the next book, because he needs a character arc of his own, like a character plot line of his own. He deserves it. He already has so much in this book. He's a skilled, he's a talented guy. Just, not conventionally, not in the sense that he can read, but he's got his own assets, and Kaz can see that. But Wylan needs to see that, I guess, for himself, because his dad has been such a downer on the poor boy. See, all these things need to be explored in an individual character arc for Wylan. He deserves it, and please, I hope it's there in the next book. Plus, the Wylan and Jesper relationship, I ship it hard already. And not Kawaii, I know it's not Kawaii. Kawaii, Boyo by your son, I feel like also needs to be a little bit more involved. I don't want him to just be like a prisoner. I feel like he needs to be a contributing factor in the next book for the original plot. Chalk up the guts to talk to Casper and Matthias and Nina. Boy, figure out where you stand with her. And then Jesper and Wylan, there's like an inkling. Relationships developed in this book surprisingly fast, so I was expecting like a couple of kisses. I was a little disappointed when Nina and Matthias didn't kiss, but that's okay, because it's just the first book. After reading, I would have thought it a bit premature. Okay, that's the most I could remember. It's getting late, I need to go to bed. Those are my thoughts on Six of Crows. I'm super excited for the second book. It's coming out, I think, at the end of the year. I'm really excited. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on this book, if you agree with my opinions on what's going on, character interpretations. Let me know what you think. Like the video if you liked it. If you like my content, please subscribe, comment down below, the usual yada. And I'll see you next weekend for probably another book talk. Bye!